Managers, if you've got appraisals and reviews coming up, I'm going to give you 11 key questions you must ask yourself before you start. If you're actually doing appraisals and PDRs and performance reviews only once a year, you're wasting your time. Yeah, you wouldn't coach a tennis player once a year, would you? So why only give your people feedback once a year? It should be an ongoing process all the time. But when you do have your reviews, one-to-ones, PDRs, appraisals, performance management reviews, name them what you like, these are 11 essential questions that will get you thinking, make you a better manager, and enable you to have much better reviews. So number one, are your team members fit enough and strong enough to support you in the business? Or are you carrying them all the time? Are you doing too much for them? Time to think, time for action. Number two, succession planning. What do you do if your best person left? Instead of sitting down and crying, yeah? What's your strategy? What's your plan? Yeah? How are you going to ensure that people can step up? How can they cover key skills within the team? Because otherwise, guess who's going to end up doing it all? Yes, you. Number three, who does your team represent? Are they true value for money? Yes, your team represent you. And if you're like me and you've got some deficiencies, you need good people around you. So make sure that you've got good people in your team. Because the next question is a killer one. And that's number four. If it was your money, would you employ your team? If you wouldn't, what are you doing about it? Either to be able to say goodbye, ethically, and according to employment law, and two, how are you going to develop them? How are you going to improve them? How are you going to grow them? So if you can't develop and grow and improve them, you need to be able to say goodbye to them. I know it's harsh. That's what managers need to do, make tough decisions. Number five, is it now the chance to finally delegate all that stuff you've been hoarding and controlling and keeping hold of? Stop being a control freak. Let go, enable your people, then you can get on and do stuff that will make far more of an impact. Because if you do your people's work for them, you just become an expensive whatever they are. Yeah? Have a think about these questions and ask yourself the questions and look in the mirror and challenge yourself. Number six, would you want to work for you? Now that is a question, isn't it? Perhaps now's the time to get some feedback. Who's the best people to tell you if you're a good manager? Yes, your team. Yeah. So don't just go in there and go, how am I doing as your manager? Because they'll say, you've been watching one of David's videos. Ask them, do I give you enough information? Do I give you enough feedback? How well do you think we work as a team? And after a while, they will be open and honest with you. Yeah. And if they do give you feedback, listen, observe, and action what is correct, and ask for some good examples. So number seven's a really important one in terms of motivation. I think you need to know four things to be able to motivate your people. What do they think of you? What do they think of their job? What do they think of the business? And what do they think of their career? If you know the answer to those four questions, you can work out what motivates people. But you've got to have some really good conversations with them to establish this information. Number eight, what does really motivate your people? If you've got 10 people in a room and ask them all what motivates them, I expect you'll get different answers. So now's the time to really understand them. Yeah, what would you like to know about your people in terms of what makes them tick? Have the questions, and if they're in the wrong job, sometimes you've got to help them go and find the right job. But that's perhaps another video for another day. Number nine, will you make your team members responsible for their own reviews? Don't sit there spoon feeding them and doing all the work. Plan it ahead, 2 weeks notice, give them lots of questions, give them presentations to do, challenge them to come and present themselves so they can talk confidently and competently about themselves and what they've done and what their plans for the future. Challenge your people. No more spoon feeding. Number 10, we're nearly there. How will you help good performers to keep performing well? Because sometimes we spend too much time on the not so good performers. What about them? Building their awareness, getting them and pushing their boundaries and getting them to get involved in new areas. Or perhaps they could be at risk if they are a really good performer. Okay, how are we going to keep them in the business? These are really important questions to sit down and think about when we are doing our reviews. So number 11, are you tolerating poor performers? Yeah, is now the time to do something about it? You can't just go off to HR and go, hey, they're useless. I don't want them anymore. Can you get rid of them? We've got to go through proper processes. But it's now the time to actually sit down and either support, develop, or make alternative decisions and go through the processes. So there are 11 really important questions that I would encourage you to sit down and think about before you even start doing any reviews, appraisals, PDRs. And have a good look at yourself and think, yeah, am I really dealing with enough challenging conversations to make the best out of myself and my team? But if you need any help, please get in contact. But please like and subscribe to the video, and I'll see you on the next one.